Hey everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our autumn treat tote. This is going to be the perfect size for a 12-ounce bag of coffee, which is a nice little gift to give. At least I think it is. And let's go ahead and put it together. So we have essentially a box without a top. Okay, and we'll have these two pieces here that we need to join here. So let's just get moving here. We'll just apply our glue to this tab. Let me grab a different bottle of glue here. It's looking like it dried up a little bit. And I'm going to take that glue, spread it out to the very edge so everything looks nice and seamless. And you can literally just take this piece here, just line it up, get it nice and centered, and butt it right up to that little score mark without going over. Okay, and press that down. We're going to flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. This is going to create the side walls, and then we're actually going to glue that to itself to make the sides a little bit thicker. Okay, again, spreading that glue out, and then you can just lay that down flat. Grab this piece here. Get it nice and centered, just like that. There we go. Okay, press that down, and now we have this large structure here. What we're going to do is take these tabs and glue them to the side. Okay, so let's start with one, and this is going to go on the inside. So start off by just gluing one at a time. It's a quick little piece. This would be great for, well, when you're going to Thanksgiving and you want to bring the host or hostess a little something. It doesn't have to be coffee. It can be pretty much anything that would fit in this container. It's a good size. Okay, so you can fit a lot of different things in here. Maybe you baked some cookies or something, some macaroons. I know my mom likes to make macaroons. Just anything that you want to present nicely for fall. Maybe, well, I just got my dehydrator back from my friend. I lent it to him for a long time. And I'm kind of excited to go apple picking and dehydrate some apples for the kids. You can put those in a nice little cellophane bag and maybe gift something like that. There's probably a lot of stuff coming out of the garden right now that you probably have an abundance of, and maybe you want to get something like that. It's really up to you. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go over to this side here, and it might be easier to try to get both of these closed at the same time. It doesn't really matter. We can still access that tab from the inside. So whatever works for you, whatever you feel comfortable with. I think I might just try it. And if it doesn't work, we can always use our little painting method to get this closed up. Not a big deal. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this up and line that up nicely on one side. Okay, you can put that down on your surface once you have it lined up to press. And then don't wait too long. Go over to the other side. Line that up as well. Press down, put that down on your surface, and press down on both tabs. You can move these out of the way just for a second. There we go. Checking my seams here. Those look good. Okay. And this side might need a little extra TLC, as I mentioned. That's okay. Sometimes we try to do too much at once. It backfires, but actually it's going to be okay. There we go. All right, so these little guys here, what we're going to do is take and we're going to apply a little bit of glue here. We're going to focus that glue right at the edge. And then we're going to take it and actually just glue it to itself on the inside. It's going to thicken up those side walls for us. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. A little bit right at the edge there. Fold that in. There we go. Nice sturdy little compartment. Okay. There we go. And then throw a little bit of glue inside, like so. And we'll take this piece and just throw it right in there. It's going to hide those tabs and also make it nice and sturdy on the bottom. Okay, so there's that. There's our little container. And now let's take a look at these pieces here. It's the front and the back. Now one of these you'll notice has a series of score marks all over the place. And we'll get into that in a second. But before we do, let's construct our little pumpkin pie slice. This is the back layer. This is the layer that's going to go on next. So let's get our glue on there, nice and easy. Nice and easy. And you'll notice there's this little point here, and that's going to match up with the little point on here because a little bit of that crust is still going to be visible along the one side. Okay, you can see how we still have that little bit of crust here. We want to maintain that, okay? Next, we're going to take this little guy and throw a little bit of glue on this. This is the side of the pie, the good stuff. And you can see where that's going to go. It's just going to be flush with the bottom, and it should hit flush with this side here, just below that little point that we were just discussing. Okay, so there's our little pie. And then we do have some whipped cream. I'm kind of bland, and I just like my pumpkin pie. I just like the meat of the pumpkin pie. I don't eat too much of the crust. Throw a little bit of this second tone of the whipped cream, and that's going to go right here at the top, like so. I hit this with a little bit of blue ink, and then this guy here is going to go right on the bottom, actually just above the bottom, and you can see there's a little score mark there, a couple score marks to help you with the placement of that. Okay, let me make sure it doesn't go this way. No, it absolutely does not. It goes like this. And you can see there's 3 score marks to help guide you as far as positioning. You want to keep this just above those 3 little score marks. Okay, there's one over here on the left, one sort of in the middle, and one on the right. There you go. And you can see where that little nub stands out. You can actually take and probably just use a couple foam squares to give that a little extra dimension, to make it a little extra cute. I'm going to do 3 since it's got enough room for 3. Okay, so we built our little whipped cream. There we go. Okay. And now, let's take a look here. We also have some leaves. We've got these elements here, and these are going to go right here, and that's going to kind of strengthen that little area where eventually we're going to tie a little bow to hold it shut. Come on, glue. There we go. So get yourself probably some gold ribbon or something, just to kind of hold it shut. And don't get any glue on this beautiful gold foil, if you're using gold foil, like I am. Sometimes it helps to get it in position and then actually flip it over and press from the other side so you don't get any fingerprints on it. Sometimes that does happen, especially if you've got gluey fingers. Okay, that looks nice. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And we have a little caption and a few little leaves. And I'll show you how this thing goes together. There's a couple ways you can actually do this, and neither of them is wrong. Just depends on how you want it to work. Okay, get that nice and centered. I'll flip it over and press. Okay, super cool. All right, now let's take a look here at the rest of this. What we'll notice here is on this one, again, as I mentioned, there's a series of score marks. And with this pattern that I'm using here, it may be a little difficult to see them on camera. But they are there, and they're there to help you with the positioning of not only the letters, but pretty much everything else. So you can glue these elements down flat if you want, or you can pop dot them. Well, not all of them. I think the caption you're going to want to glue down, because trying to put foam squares on the caption is going to be a royal pain, because you're going to have to cut them really small. And then even if you do cut the foam squares really small, if you look at it from an angle, chances are you're going to see it and it's not going to look that great. Okay, so anyway, we do need to put this guy here, and you can tell there's a little score mark right here, okay, and that's for the top there. And then we've got a little score mark here, and then there's one down here. I think the main one you want to look at is this little V right about there. That's going to be for the tip of our little guy, and then bring this one up to about there. Okay, that's it. All right, so hello is going to go up on top, and again, you've got a series of score marks there. There's like a score mark there, or a little indicator that looks like a little C. Okay, and that's where that's going to go. Okay, and then there's also one that looks like a letter N right there. That's going to go in this little dip right here where the L meets the O. There's also another one on the L and the E. You can kind of see where it's going. So that's probably all the info you need on that. You'll see it once you place it down. And I need to get some glue squeezed out of here because it's... And... Come on. You don't need to put a ton of glue on this little caption. I would just do a few little dots, and if your dots are too thick, just kind of hit them with your finger to thin it out. Because the last thing we want is that glue squirting outside of the confines of the actual lettering and smudging or blemishing your beautiful project. Okay, so I think I have it where I want it. I got to give it a few pushes just to make sure it's getting a grip, and then I'll carefully flip it over and press from the other side so I don't blemish that gold foil. If you're not using gold foil, you don't need to worry about it. But there's your hello. Okay, and then down here we have, you'll notice that there are some little markers for the F. The F is the only one that is separate. Okay, so just do a few little dots of glue, thin that out. Okay, and grab that and pop that right into the little spot where you have the little markers. Okay, looks like it's got a grip. I'll flip it over and press down from the other side. There we go, no blemish. And then again, look for those little markers. There's one that kind of looks like an arrowhead pointing up. That's going to go right there where the A kind of turns into the L. Okay, and the rest of them you can see there's also a few of those little arrowheads that are going to go in between, right under there where the L is, right in that little gap. Okay, so nice and easy with the glue. Just nice and easy little dots. And then again, if you get too much on there, thin it out with your finger. That'll actually help it grip a lot quicker too. Okay, let me make sure I'm doing this right. That's about it right there. Okay, press that gently, make sure it's got a hold. Flip it over and press. There we go. Sweet. All right, then we have 3 little oak leaves. There's a large one and 2 that are pretty much the same size. You'll notice there are some little score marks for that, little markers to help you with that, with the positioning of those. There's one at the bottom where the stem is, one at the top, a few where that one's going to go right there. Perfect. Just like that. And then these 2 little guys, there's going to be one at the bottom here. Again, we've got some little markers there for you, just to keep it consistent and easy. I'm just using little dots. Trying to make lines with the glue on this is just going to end up in disaster. So use the little dots. Okay, let's find, this one's going to go this way, like so. Just match that up with where the stem goes. Beautiful. And then there's one more right there. and that one's going to be pointing off to the right. Get your glue going, little dots. It's a delicate little piece. My Cricut did a really good job cutting this out. I'm kind of pushing the boundary on detail. If you had a hard time cutting this out, make sure you've got a nice fresh blade, a nice sticky mat, and most importantly, good paper. Okay, there is some inferior paper out there that will cause nothing but a mess when you go to cut stuff, so try to avoid that. Okay, there we go. Cute little design. And now what we're going to do, so we thought about how to present this. I'm going to take the back layer, okay? This is going to be the back. So what we need to do is we're going to apply glue to this whole thing, like so. And I'm going to spread that glue out to the edges, especially up at the top. That might be starting to dry way too quick. Use the little score mark at the bottom to kind of figure out how far to place it. Make sure it's centered right on that box. And then you can put that down on your surface and press down. Okay, make sure that score mark or that little tab is actually making contact with the bottom here. And just keep pressing that down. Okay. And then for the front of this, I wanted it to pop open like that. So all I'm going to do is actually just put glue on the tab here and just glue the tab to the bottom. That way when they open it, the front kind of flops out. Okay, you could do the same thing and just glue this to this entire surface if you want. Totally up to you. Okay, so I'm just going to take this, push it up as far as it'll go, nice and centered, and then press that tab down onto the bottom. Okay, you can put this down on your surface, press down from the inside. Okay, and you can see what's happening here. Just going to take this and tie that with a little bow, or just some ribbon just to close it up. Okay, so we'll leave that like that, and then of course we have this other tab here that we have not glued into place yet, which we're going to do. So go ahead and get that in place. Pop that down, press down from the inside. And then last but not least, we have this bottom piece here. You can flip this around, apply your glue to the entire bottom. And just spread that out to the very edge. And we'll close that up to make it look nice and hide those tabs with this piece. Just like that. Make sure you get it nice and centered. Just run your finger along the perimeter so it's making good contact. You can also push from the inside. And there we go. Okay, so in between takes here, you can see I just added a little bow. Nothing fancy, just popped it around, tied it. I trimmed the tails so that they look nice, and it is ready to go. So that's going to do it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please visit us on our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. While you're there, hit the little bell so you get notifications anytime we release a new product, whether it be paid or free. And if you make this or anything from our latest bundle, I'd love to see it, and so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Official. That's where you'll find myself and over 43,000 other dreamers that inspire us daily. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos, and please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section, where you'll find over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly tutorials. I'll see you in the craft room.